Hi everyone, I'm Anthony DiMoro and welcome to this edition of SportsRantz University, where I'm going to be talking a little bit about this new feature we just released on SportsRantz for all the bloggers, and it's the ability to send customized newsletters to anybody who subscribes to your blog. Now, many of you may be wondering, what do I need a newsletter for? Well, it's a great way to keep people up to date on a lot of your blog posts, and also any information you're using on your blog. If you have a special post coming up, if you're giving away something, you have a contest as a poll, it's a great way to utilize connecting with your fans and keeping them up to date, because not everybody's going to go to a blog link all the time manually by just logging on their computer and going to your blog. Or if you're tweeting on Twitter your blog links, or if you're posting on Facebook, not everybody's on Facebook or Twitter every day, and not everybody's always going to click on those links. So what newsletters will do, will basically send an attractive looking email, colorful email, customized with your theme and your brand on it, to alert people who have subscribed to your blog of any new information, new posts, stuff like that. Well, with that being said, you may be thinking, well, that's great. I blog every day. It's going to be great to send these newsletters out a couple times a day. Well, use discretion, because people who subscribe to your email list can also hit unsubscribe, and also you don't want to be flagged for spam. So keep those factors in mind, and remember, look up Anti-Spam Acts, learn what you usually get, Google some information on, good newsletter practices and stuff like that. There'll be tons of information out there that you can utilize. It's useful to kind of digest this information, because it's going to let you know how to properly do things, and there's a ton, like I said, there's a ton of good information out there at your fingertips for you to use, so make sure you use it. With that being said, we're going to take a little behind the scenes look at some of the functionality, setting up and getting going with your newsletter, so let's have a look. Okay, for this instance, I'm using SportsRantz University. I logged in dashboard. Everybody's dashboard pretty much looks the same. And what I'm going to do on the left-hand side now, there's a section called Send Press. And this is basically where you're going to manage your newsletters. So first of all, let's click on Overview. And this will show you just basically the background on SendPress, what it's about, your basic settings. You're going to want to choose your sending method. Let's click on this first. Now keep in mind, you can send through your website, but with the amount of people sending on SportsRantz.com, chances are the deliverable rate will be down, so I wouldn't suggest doing that. If you have a Gmail account, keep in mind Gmail sends up to 500 emails a day, will allow you up to 500 emails a day, so if you have one, create a Gmail account that's just for your newsletter, like newsletter@myblog.com, something like that, where you can you can utilize it only for sending out your newsletters, and that way you don't have to worry about hitting that limit every day. If you exceed that limit, Gmail has a dedicated account for purposes of sending out newsletters. I certainly suggest this, and so does SendPress. Or you can open a SendPress account. It's an enterprise account, and basically it'll give you access to their mail sending service as well, which you can use if you want to spend a little bit more money, or if you want to spend money at all at doing that, then I would suggest using the SendPress account. They're the ones that developed this feature. But if you only have 10 to 15 contacts you're mailing to, I wouldn't suggest doing that. Anything over 400, I would start looking into a SendPress account or a dedicated Gmail account. So you put in your username and your password, you get everything all set up there, and that is pretty much how the first thing you're going to want to do when coming into the newsletter. And then you're going to have to set your canned spam information. And this is basically your basic information, your name, your email address, your Twitter handle, your Facebook page. If you got a LinkedIn profile, that's great too. It'll end it. It'll basically add this to your emails and make it look really professional. Also, this is really kind of important. Add a physical business address or something like that to your newsletters. It can be a P.O. box. I know it says New York P.O. box either, but use a physical address. I mean, if you're really looking to develop a brand and a business, you're going to want to do this. It makes things look more professional, and it actually helps you pass some spam filters as well. So it's optional, but I totally suggest doing this. And you're required under U.S. law to display a physical business address. So make sure you do that and stay within the Federal Can Spam Act of 2003. So now that that's said, let's go back to the overview here. And basically, now it's time to style your default template. This is pretty easy. So if you guys are not familiar with the web design, if you're not familiar with any of this stuff, HTML, anything like that, don't worry, don't get intimidated. It's pretty simple. Alright, so up here, this section right here is going to be for our banner. We're going to upload our banner image. And I'm actually going to see if I still have it in my media library. I should, even though there's a ton of them here. But, alright, this is the SR University logo. I'm going to choose that. And I'll use this image. And then the link. So you want your banner to always link to your blog. So there you go, activate that. And then come down and then you see it. There it is. There's your banner right there. Now this is just your content. This is basically to display what you're going to be saying in your newsletter place, and you can put a header. If you click on text right here, you put a header. So brand new feature on SportsRantz. SportsRantz ads newsletters. And for this instance, I would use a direct link to an article. So I'll just put a newsletter. Not that that's the actual URL, but we're going to save and activate it. And as you can see, things are starting to come a little bit together. It's pretty decent now. I mean, things are starting to come together, and it's starting to look like an actual newsletter. So if you don't like this background, you can change the background. It's pretty easy. You can just kind of float around and pick a nice, so you can see it in the background there. So let's this is a horrible color, but I'll just use it for example. This is the body text color if you want to change your text, your link color, if you want them to be red instead. And then your header. What color do you want your header? I want mine to be as white as possible, so there it is. I can make it black, I can make it anything. So you can kind of play around with this and get used to it as well. Alright, so that is all basically set up. This is your template. I'm going to save that. And you can always go back and change this up. And you got all your stuff basically set up. You have your template set and you're ready to roll. So what do? You go to the email section, and this is where you can create a new email. And it's kind of like doing a blog post, so treat it pretty much as a blog post, sorry. And I'm just going to put my title in here, announcing newsletters. And this is where it's going to start letting me go in and fix the content. It's going to allow you to upload and insert pictures, kind of like a blog post, so don't worry about it. I mean, it's perfectly fine, easy to use, so don't stress out too much about this. It should be very easy for everybody to use. And use pictures, make it colorful, make it stand out, bold and italicize, use headers, get creative with it, make it appealing, make it eye-catching. Alright, now you're ready to do all this, you're ready to send, you go up and you click send. Alright, so that is the email part. Let's go to subscribers. Now right here I don't have any subscribers, so I'm going to create a list. And basically what this list does is create list. This is going to be my fans. Allow user to sign up to this list. Yes, we're going to allow users to sign up to this list. There's nobody in there right now. So what am I going to do? Alright, I have to put a subscribe button on my blog? Well, that's pretty easy. Go to your widgets, and basically what you're going to want to do is there's this thing called the Send Press Sign Up, and you're going to put it right down. I'm going to put it under my calendar just to see what it looks like, and let everybody know. Enter, or basically subscribe to my blog. You can click their first name, their last names. You don't have to, but this is basically the form they fill out. And thank you for subscribing. Sincerely, make it personalized. SR University. Save. So we're going to give this a look on my site now, on SportsRantz University, see how it looks. We go down, and there's the subscribe button right there. Someone puts in their email, hits the submit button, and thank you subscribing to Sincerely SR University. So now that we have somebody signed up, let's go back to that send press button, go to our subscribers, and then back into that list you will see all of the emails of all your subscribers. So it's pretty cool, and I can send it to all those templates now. These reports section, keep in mind the reports section is actually really important. When you start sending out information, it'll let you know the date you sent it, how many emails it reached, what list it came from them, how many people opened them, how many clicks, how many people unsubscribed, and how many bounces. Bounces are basically dead email addresses. They're not accepting emails, so you can remove them from your list. So get used to putting a subscribe button on your blog. It's fairly easy. Remember, it's in your appearance section under widgets, and you can add them to your sidebar, so it's pretty easy. And remember, guys, do your research on how to compose a good newsletter. It's very important. So best of luck to you, and get going and building your email list. All right, that's it, and we'll talk to you next time on SportsRantz.